All right. I think we're
All
going.
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, probably just gentlemen, welcome to the Chain Crew podcast. My name is Dom. To the left of me is Carter, and below me, as always, is Schmeigs. Um,
As
we,
always.
yeah, exactly. We wanted to start a podcast because we're all three guys in our 20s and we want to just do something really original. So we started a podcast. But
You know,
I'll let them introduce themselves and then I'll introduce myself. So whichever one of you wants to go.
I'll jump in. Thank you, Dom.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
so Carter here. Big fantasy football guy, big Minnesota Vikings fan. I've loved football, played for a long time, and I love these two guys. They love football like I do. They know football like I do. So I was really excited to just be a little more intentional about our football conversations while having some fun, and really excited to get started.
Oh yeah, love it.
yeah, I don't know if I know football, but I love football. I love these guys, and I love to talk. So it was like I'm in 100% when they brought this up. I was like, yeah, let's do it. But I'll throw some hot takes around, and we'll see what happens.
And
He's
I'm not gonna
the
like
wild
most of them.
card. The wild card. Yeah, most of this is just going to be us saying good stuff about every team in the NFC North except for the Vikings. So it's going to be a good
I
time.
hope not.
But first episode, gentlemen, I am very excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. We've been talking about this for like a week and then we just did it. So
Yep.
that's why our first episode on YouTube, at least right now, if you're watching on YouTube, it's like pretty like scuffed, but we're going to get things working for the next episode. First one is foot in the water. Okay. So
Yep.
we'll see how this goes. Carter, why don't you run us through what we're going to be talking about tonight?
Mm. Thank you, Dom. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
super excited to get started here. So we are going to be jumping into our Super Bowl predictions for technically 2026,
Yep.
2025 into 2026. So who we think is making it from the NFC and the AFC. We're going to then dive into who we think is going to win the NFL honors. There's going to be, looks like, I think we have 8 awards we're talking about for that. And then lastly, we're each going to give a hot take on a one player specifically and just tear each other apart about why it's wrong.
Yep.
And it's going to be a lot of fun
It's going to be
along the way.
beautiful.
So, yes. Yeah, so I think Super Bowl predictions, if you guys are ready to get started, anybody want to start us off?
Whichever one of you wants to go first. I'll let Schmeigs lead it off if you want.
Yeah, I like that. I like
I
that.
got the most basic of basic answers for this. It's gonna be really underwhelming for everyone who heard that I was the hot take guy. I'm a turncoat immediately and say I got the Eagles. It's hard to bet against them. They still got all of that offensive firepower. I will say I was looking over the depth chart a little bit, and I was shocked with Brandon Graham retiring and with Josh Sweat going to the Cardinals, how thin that D line looks for the first time in a long time. I don't want to say thin, but I'm used to seeing 5 guys that I'm scared of. And now you got Jalen Carter, you got Jordan Howard, you got Nolan Thomas, or no Josh or Nolan. So I'm a little more shaky on their defensive side because all their cornerbacks that I saw were in their rookie contracts still, but I still think they get it done. On the other side, AFC, again, basic answer, but Ravens. I mean, Malachi Starks and oh my
Kyle
goodness, the Green
Hamilton.
Bay quarterback.
Jair Alexander.
And yeah,
Yeah.
you add that to Marlon Humphrey and their all pro safety back there already, whose name I'm forgetting. But I just think that that's going to be a defense that's phenomenal. And yeah, Ravens and Eagles.
All right, I like
I
it. I
like
like
that
it.
you talked. Like you said, the defenses didn't say anything about the offenses at all. Just went straight
Well,
to the
the
Lamar
defenses.
Jackson speaks for himself. I think we're good there.
So to
the
Saquon.
offense is
So to
like,
Saquon.
what's new with them? It's Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess they got DeAndre Hopkins on the
Yep.
Ravens, but like,
that's
is he
true.
going for 800?
No,
What's new with either of those offenses? I think it's the same thing last year.
that's fair.
For
That's
me,
fair.
the only difference I'm seeing is I see a revamped Ravens defense on an already incredible defense. Someone help me out. Who was there? Kyle Hamilton. Thank
Kyle
God.
Yep.
Hamilton.
The
Um,
goat. My
and then
goat.
and then the Eagles, I mean, I'm not as big on that defense, but I gotta say I'm not betting against it.
Fair.
So
Yes, fair.
Fair. And if I can chime in, I just don't know who in the NFC is going to be able to really compete. I mean, the Commanders were close, the Lions were close. I mean, I want to be a homer and pick the Vikings, but realistically, like I don't know who else is going to have the dominant O line and D line that the Eagles are going to have. Like
Yeah.
maybe the Rams, maybe the Lions, maybe the Commanders. I just somehow maybe the 49ers either make it to the NFC Championship or not make the playoffs. So maybe the Niners come out of nowhere again. But I would go Eagles as well. I think AFC, I'm feeling the Bills. I don't think the Chiefs make it back. I think they finally fall off a little bit. So my pick is the Bills just because I think that I think Josh Allen is due. No disrespect to Lamar. Lamar is also due. But I think that I mean both teams are going to run the ball really well. But I think the Bills, for whatever reason, I just feel like in my gut that they're destined, and maybe not the Ravens, but we'll see. I could see either team, to be honest. So that's my pick is going to be Eagles, Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. I mean, we're all pretty close to the same thing. I mean, as long as we all don't have Mahomes going, I'm happy.
Yes.
But freaking, I'm gonna have to go Bills and Eagles as well. The Eagles are so freaking good. Like they're absolutely stacked top to bottom. It's gonna be a really hard team to beat. They got probably the best offensive line in the league. Jalen Hurts doesn't even have to be elite every single game for them to win by a ton. I mean, he's got so many good weapons, and he has the best running back in the NFL. I think it's going to be so hard to beat them. Even the Lions last year, without any injuries, I don't think they would have beaten the Eagles. They just seemed like the destined team to win it last year.
I agree.
And then as for the Bills, I mean, dude, Josh Allen is absolutely due. Every single playoffs, he has like an incredible game and somehow ends up losing. Eventually, like he's going to end up winning it. I feel like every single Josh Allen playoff game I've ever watched, he's outdueled the other quarterback, but he just doesn't win every single one of them. It's
Their
outrageous.
Their defense lets them down.
Oh,
Their defense
100%.
lets
I mean,
them
the
down.
13-second game. I mean, last year there was that they did like 3 QB sneaks in a row, and on fourth down, it looked like he got it, and then the Chiefs still got the ball. I mean, he has to get one at some point. So I feel like Bills and Eagles is going to be the one this year. Or we'll be pissed off in 8 months or however long it is from now, and it's going to be Chiefs and freaking Eagles once again. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I think the Bills are due for sure. They got a lot better. And, I mean, you can't bet against Josh Allen. He's so good, especially in the playoffs.
Unless he's playing the Chiefs. Unless he's playing the Chiefs.
I mean, he usually outplays Patrick Mahomes is the thing.
I know, but he can't beat him. He can't beat him in the playoffs.
It's outrageous.
Hurts me.
True.
It is.
Very true.
If I could throw a question out on this, who do you guys even see coming close to the Eagles in the NFC? Because that's the big issue for me is you talk about that remarkable offense, and then you add in the fact that it's like anything under a yard, and they're going for it, and they're pushing over the yard marker.
Yeah, they're pretty unbeatable.
Who even comes close?
I think possibly the Rams. I think the Rams are going to have a really good offense, and the defenses looked better. They had the defensive player rookie of the year in his name Verse last year. I think the Rams are going to come in strong. I think the Bucks are going to be really good again.
Dude, I don't want to interrupt you, but how elite would a Baker Mayfield Josh Allen Super Bowl be? I mean, oh my
incredible.
God. That was so many yards and so many touchdowns and just so much hype from both QB. I think that would be one of the top Super Bowls of all time, truly.
I don't know. I think maybe the Lions, maybe. I think our division's going to be so competitive. I don't know if the Lions would. I actually think they might take a little bit of a step back without Ben Johnson. So, what about you, Schmeeks?
I'm a huge Seahawks fan. Man, I'm going to throw a dark horse out there. I think if it's not the Rams or, you got to say the Lions to an extent. I love what they're doing. I know you said they're going to take a step back. I also think you're as biased as I am. I think the Lions, and I think if the Lions aren't, man, I'm really excited about what the Seahawks are making. I think the Seahawks,
Vikings.
Yeah, I think Mike McDonald, that Ravens defense he oversaw was capable, and I'd be hopeful they could do the same. But that's biased, and I know
that's
fair.
Fair enough.
That's the funny thing about this is that you two. I mean, we got a Seahawks fan, Schmeeks, who's super biased, and then Carter is a Vikings fan, super biased, and I'm a Patriots fan, but Josh Allen is literally my favorite player in the NFL. So,
In your division.
yeah, exactly.
You know, I gotta say, while we're talking on Josh Allen, I read that article about him proposing to Haley Steinfeld.
I'm so
He
jealous
flew
of
out
her.
her family. He flew out her family, all their friends, to Hawaii. They were all out there, and then he wrote this. I don't know if he wrote it, but the article I read said he was talking to a guy, and they woke up, and she said, "I can't wait to get married," and his heart was in his throat because he was gonna propose to her. He proposed to her and surprised her with a dinner with all their family. And I'm reading this, I'm like, dude, pick a lane. You don't get to run over all these NFL. You don't get to be king of the NFL and live a TLC
True.
life.
True.
Like,
What a pussy, honestly.
it's like leave some of the miracle life for the rest of us.
Yeah,
True,
come on.
true.
Well, and that's kind of why I feel like he's destined to make the Super Bowl. He's got to.
Because of
at some
Haley
point.
Steinfeld.
Yes, because his life's been so damn good.
I can't picture his career ending without one Super Bowl. I truly can't.
I would agree. I would
That's a great
agree.
point.
And if it somehow
Yeah.
does, I'm going to be so sad. I don't think, like, other than Tom Brady, there's no other player I want to win a Super Bowl more than Josh Allen. Like, at this rate, I need to see it happen. I really do.
Let's transition. I wanna start talking about MVP. I want to get into the NFL honors if
There
you
we
guys
go.
are ready for it. Because
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about one of the best players. We're talking about the player who
The
won
MVP.
MVP last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
It's a good
and
segue.
yeah, Dom, you want to start us off with your MVP pick for this year?
My MVP pick for the 2024-2025 NFL season, sponsored by by Kia
The Seattle Seahawks.
or something. Yeah, sponsored by the Seahawks. I really was talking about the Patriots being my favorite team, and I'm wearing a freaking Seahawks hat. So MVP. Are we saying like our top couple or just like one and that's it? Just one and done. Or maybe like one and a dark horse.
Maybe one in a dark horse.
Okay. All right. So
Change things. All I have are dark horses.
I'm gonna go with my dark horse first, okay? And then I'll go with my like absolute like beta freaking pick that everyone's gonna be like, oh wow, great prediction. So my dark horse. Now walk with me here, okay? I'm kidding. Okay, so my main one is going to be Lamar. I mean, he literally is just one of the most incredible players I've ever seen. I think when all is said and done, he's going to be one of the top like 10 quarterbacks we've ever watched. But his regular seasons year after year are just like the craziest stats you've ever seen. He had like 44 touchdowns last year, and he rushed for like 1,000 yards. I mean, at this point, people might think this is crazy, but at this point, I genuinely think he's one of like the 5 like best regular season QBs of all time. Like, I don't think there's any debating that. He's been ridiculous his entire career. So I'm gonna go for MV3 for Lamar because that's just what he does. I think it makes way too much sense. I don't think like someone like Mahomes is gonna win it or anything like that. But a dark horse for me is Matt Stafford.
I was just thinking Matt Stafford.
Let's go. I think it makes a lot of sense because he has Puka, he has Devontae Adams. He doesn't have the corpse of Cooper Kupp coming out like once every 5 games anymore. He had that one good run, right? He had a good run. He's like Lightning McQueen in that one scene in freaking Cars 3 where they're like, you had a good run. And then, but picture it's Devontae Adams taking over. So I think my dark horse is going to be Matt Stafford. He's unbelievable most of the time. I think it makes a lot of sense. Another one I could see doing it is Joe Burrow. If he had won and gotten to the playoffs last year, I think he probably wins the MVP because statistically speaking, he had the best season out of any QB. But I'm going to go Matt Stafford as my number 2, and then maybe Joe Burrow is up there as well. But number 1, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, I want to see it happen. So let's get it. Who's next?
I want to comment on that corpse of Cooper Kupp. We just added him to
Yeah, I forgot about that.
the 4.99 speed of Jake Bobo.
Yep.
And the 4.5 speed of Jackson Smith and Jigba. He fits right in. We don't deal with deep threats in Seattle.
You don't need
going
DK
left, right.
Metcalf when you have 45-year-old Cooper Kupp.
We're doing ins, we're doing outs, we're doing
Yep.
zigs, baby.
Yep.
That's what we need on this roster.
First one in the gym, last one out.
Yeah.
Okay.
First one
Well,
on IR, last one out.
I, I feel like I can transition next because I also want to pick Joe Burrow. That was my first pick. I thought he deserved it. I think he's going to have
100%.
another crazy season. I think the Bengals might have the best offense in the NFL this year. I think their defense won't be good. Their division will be competitive. Like, I just think he's going to have to ball again, and he's got his weapons still. I think everything is set up for Joe Burrow to win MVP.
100%.
I don't know if I'd say this is a dark horse pick, but I was thinking of another quarterback too, because unfortunately the MVP's kind of become the quarterback award a little bit.
Yeah.
My guy's Baker. He had an amazing season last year. Now the division was not that competitive last year. I think it's going to be more competitive. I think the Falcons are going to be better. Saints, Panthers might be a little bit better. I think the Bucs still win the division, but I think Baker's maybe tested a little bit more. And so I'm excited. I think I could see Baker balling, having another year, and maybe win an MVP. So that's kind of my dark horse
like
pick.
it.
But
I like it a lot.
I was thinking Stafford too. The only thing I'm hesitant on is they like to run the ball a lot, and
True.
so do the Bucs.
True.
So I don't know. He won't be leaned on maybe as much as like Joe Burrow will be, or Lamar will be, or Josh Allen will be. But anyway, Schmigs.
Yeah, so my MVP was already, I wouldn't call it a dark horse, but it was a middle of the road. It's not an obvious one. I went Jaden Daniels. And a
Okay,
big reason
okay.
I did this, he had beyond having a miracle season last year for a rookie going to the NFC Championship, just added Laramie Tunsil at left tackle, have Debo Samuel out in the slot now. I think he has the same talent, more weapons. He already had a good offensive line. They got Laramie Tunsil in their first round pick, so hopefully we'll see what happens with that guy. But I think he has a chance of repeating, and with that rushing upside, I think he could have a Lamar Jackson-esque season without the Lamar Jackson MVP burnout. That Lamar Jackson's kind of suffering from success at the moment.
True. Very true.
For my hot take, I was also gonna do Baker. So now I feel
Hey, so we're in each other's heads.
a little bit
We're in
bummed out.
each
I like
other's
Cardinals
heads.
first.
Schmeeks was in mine and I was in Dom's. Let's go. Schmeeks, you want to get us started on the next one for Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I think mine's pretty straightforward. I mean, my dark horse. I'm gonna start with again. I'm being so biased here, but I like Mike McDonald. I just think the Seahawks went 10-7 last year, ended with a top 5 defense. I think they're going to carry that into this year, bringing the whole defense back. Just so much talent over there, so much young talent, and then offensively, I'm not sold on Darnold, but I'm also not sold that if we can get a decent run game going with Kenneth Walker and with Zach Charbonnet, that we can get some more wins under the team's belt. And oh man, I'm forgetting his name, but hopefully Dennis Allen. Hopefully he can do that for the team. I think my almost my lock, where if I'm betting money on this, I'm throwing money down, is Sean Payton.
Okay.
Going back to the Seahawks 2023, he takes the Broncos over they are one of the worst teams in the NFL, and the Seahawks have their 3rd overall pick for being one of the worst teams in the NFL. He took a team without some of its highest picks, turned it into an 8-9 kind of middle of the road team in 2024. They went 10-7 last year. They had, I was looking it up, the 4th best defense in the league by metrics, and then Bo Nix, man, played out of his mind. Who saw that coming?
I was so excited about it.
I was looking at free agent pickups, and man, they are scary. They went and got Hufanga off the 49ers. They got Greenlaw off the 49ers. The rich got richer on defense. They got Evan Ingram at tight end. I could see them winning the AFC West, and if they do, I think Sean Payton takes that.
That's my pick. I picked
that would be wild.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I completely agree with Schmeeks. I love that pick.
Damn. That's a
Oh,
wild one.
yes. I have to say, I did look this up. Schmigs, I love you, but the Seahawks were definitely not a top 5 defense last year.
They were top 5 to end the year. They were top 10 over the year.
Total defense, they were 14th. Passing defense, they were 11th. Rushing defense, they were 16th. Scoring defense, they were 11th.
Fake news.
Sorry, buddy.
I don't know where you're getting
Carter's
those
lying.
metrics. I saw. So they made the trade midseason for Ernest Jones. Then they start Tyrese Knight. They had those 2 linebackers whose names I've forgotten that they unceremoniously cut midseason that were starting for them, and then start some other guys. I mean, that was one of the things I loved about McDonald. Honestly, is he, guys weren't playing; they were starters. He didn't care; they were off the team. So that defense, I mean, you can we can look it up later and talk about it. But the Seahawks 100% got better, and they played some pretty stifling defense to end that year.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not top 5, maybe it's not top 10.
They ended strong.
But I think it is, and I
Yeah.
think what you're looking up is wrong.
Okay, yeah, sure. I love your Sean
Let's
Payton
go.
pick, though. Respect it. I love it. I want to talk about this on another episode, but I am super high on the Broncos this year. My coach of the year pick is Schmeeks or Dom's
Yep.
team. Mike
You got confused
Vrabel.
because the Seahawks had him.
Yes, I did. Yes. I think Drake May is going to be better. I'm excited about the rookie running back. He is a defensive-minded coach, and the Patriots have always been pretty good on defense.
Yup.
They got Christian Gonzalez, who's a great corner.
Incredible.
I didn't really pay attention to their draft very much, but I have faith in Vrabel. Like, he was good with the Titans for a long time. I was kind of surprised when they let him loose. I just think he's a good coach, and I think the Patriots are bound to swing back up a little bit. And I don't
Yeah.
know if I don't think they'll be crazy good, but I could
Mhm.
see them getting second and maybe making the wild card. And I think it could be good enough to get him coach of the year. Maybe make a little playoff run. We'll see. Who knows? A little bit of a hot take, but I'm excited about Vrabel.
I like it.
However,
I love it.
Schmeegs' pick is so good. I wish I'd come up with it myself. I love the Sean Payton
That's
pick.
fair.
Um,
That's very fair.
go ahead.
I mean, we agree on the same one. Mike Vrabel for sure. I mean, the Patriots are so bad last year. If they even get 50% better, they're going to be doing a lot better. The main thing with the team last year was the offense just looked so bad because Drake May had no time to throw. And I mean, we upgraded our O-line. We got the number one, tackle in the draft, Forrest Gump. We got Travion Henderson in the second round. We got some wide receivers. We got Stephon Diggs. I think it's going to help him a lot. And Drake May made a ton of plays by himself last year.
He did.
An
He
absolute
totally did.
ton with no weapons to throw to whatsoever. I think with even just a decent wide receiver core, he's going to do so much better. I fully expect him to be amazing. I also have been a Drake May meat writer since before the Pats even drafted him, so I might be biased there. But I think he's going to be just doing so much better, and I think that obviously will result in more wins. And with that, and Mike Vrabel being the new head coach, I think that could lock him up, getting the Coach of the Year award. But yeah, I think they're going to be a lot
Nice.
better. I don't know about wild card. I would love to see it, but I definitely think they're going to get maybe 8, hopefully 9 wins. Somewhere around there would be super sick. We'll see, though. They could always hurt me like they have the past couple of years. I know the Patriots fans saying that the team has hurt him, but it's been a while since they've been good, so everyone get off of me.
Yeah, that's what I was
This
going to
is-
laugh about. I was like, oh,
this-
poor guy, he's seen 7 Super Bowls.
True.
This is unrelated, but their over-under is 8.5 wins this year.
I love it.
And I think they hit the over.
I do, too. I agree. I think we put
All right.
12 grand
That's-
combined on it or something.
What's crazy is that's the over-under line for the Seahawks, and I put $100 on it.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
I was like,
right.
don't disrespect my boys like that.
We will
All
be doing
right.
props in the coming episodes, by the way, everybody.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure.
Watching, but
For
today we're
sure.
just
I don't know-
chilling.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys, deranged betters over here. At least I am. I don't want to speak
Not
for
yet.
the rest of these guys.
I'm going to get more deranged because of this podcast.
I love
I'm very
it. Yeah,
excited
same.
about it.
Same.
Um,
Same.
Dom, comeback player of the year. Let's go. Hit me with it.
Comeback player of the year. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Spoiler alert for everybody. We had like a quick like practice run. You can't get on the field without a few practice reps in. You know what I'm saying? So we had some practice yesterday. But I'm gonna go with the same player I said yesterday. Okay. Everybody who's listening or watching, close your eyes and picture the long flowing locks of a beautiful golden-haired QB who's been looked down on the past couple of years. He throws the ball up. He can choose Brian Thomas Jr. or Travis Hunter. Either way, one's getting a touchdown. But my pick after coming back from injury is going to be Trevor Lawrence. I think that offense is way too good now at this point. If he doesn't play good, I don't know what else there is to say. Okay, the Jags are cursed for sure. But at this point, if he doesn't play good with one of the best wide receiver prospects or just overall prospects of the past like 20 years, and then also Brian Thomas Jr., who's an absolute god at wide receiver, I don't know what else there is to say. I think Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he's coming back from that. There's other obvious players like Christian McCaffrey and stuff, but, I mean, quarterbacks are obviously the most popular players. So if he throws like 30 touchdowns or something this year, I could see him winning Comeback Player of the Year for sure. What about you guys?
You know, you had such a good take, and then you just casually mentioned my guy at the end of your take, and it just pisses me off.
I'm sorry.
My comeback.
Setting you up for failure.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was going to pick Christian McCaffrey. I think that, like I mentioned earlier, the Niners either missed the playoffs or NFC Championship, missed playoffs, NFC Championship. I think that their coaching is too good, and Purdy is still pretty solid, and who knows? We thought McCaffrey was healthy last year, and of course he wasn't. So now this year, who knows? But yes, well, I think it's Christian McCaffrey. I think he comes back and he has a great season. I think the Niners need him, and if they're gonna be competitive, I think it's got to be through Christian McCaffrey, and I think he comes back and has a huge season. So
football's not as entertaining without him dominating. So I would
agree.
To see that.
He is very fun to watch. Yeah,
he's no Saquon Barkley, but he's amazing.
No, yeah. So that's my pick is CMC.
I love it.
Yeah.
Schmeeks, your thoughts?
I need to take off my my Seahawks goggles because I'm seeing red. But he's an amazing player. I can't argue against it. For my comeback player of the year, you mentioned Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter. I got two guys I think debatably are better pair of receivers. And I'm gonna throw out George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I'm going with Dak Prescott.
That's a good one.
For the comeback player of the year.
That's a good one.
And before everyone's like, ooh, that's a great take. I was really conflicted about this. And I looked at the sports betting odds, and he's currently the leading favorite to win comeback player.
This
isn't like this is the most basic pick. This is as basic as it gets.
I like that you abandoned your pick immediately afterwards. You're like, I'm gonna hype Dak up. Never mind.
No. I'm not hyping him up. I'm not saying I love him as the pick. I love him as the comeback player of the year. I don't think your ooh la lying makes me feel like it's undeserved because I'm stealing that. This is
it's a good pick. I mean, we didn't say it.
I didn't think of it. So
I didn't think of it either. I kind of completely forgot about Rain Dakota Prescott, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah,
so did I.
He's had, I looked at his stats. He's had, obviously, he's speaking of up down, like you were saying for the 49ers. In the last 4 seasons, he's either thrown for 2,000 yards with almost like 20 interceptions, or he's thrown for 4,500 yards with 36 touchdowns and 10 interceptions.
Yeah.
So the guys, if he can put together a year like that, I could see him winning it.
I mean, the last time he was fully healthy for a season, he was in the MVP race. So I mean, he's a top 10 QB in the league. It's just he hasn't played in forever because he got hurt last season. So definitely a good choice.
He had 4,900 yards, 1,800, 4,400, 2,800, 4,500, 1,900. He's if the trend continues, he's gonna have a great season.
Yep. I love to see 6,000 yards.
Great pick,
and I'm gonna say it. I don't, drama be damned, CTE demons. Yeah, absolutely. George Pickens can flat out play football.
He's a baller.
That guy can. He can.
Him and his split personalities are really good at football.
I mean, I love him and CD. I mean, it might be CDT over there. I mean, it's just crazy. Or CDE.
CDTD.
Yeah, CDT. We'll have to come up with a fun CTE related name for the pair of them. But
I love
I
making
mean,
brain injury
Wow.
jokes. So I'm all
Ah,
about it.
that
Antonio
that
Brown,
that
anybody?
is yeah. That dude in Dallas, it's
I'm
either gonna
sure.
click. It's gonna click so well, or it's gonna be an absolute
Dude,
shit show.
Jerry Jones as the owner mixed with George Pickens being literally crazy might be a disaster, but we'll see.
George Pickens kills him in the middle of the season, just throws
Yeah.
a chair at him, breaks his back.
He very well could. You
I'm
truly
just
never know
saying,
with him.
I'm just, history usually gets repeated, right? You look at Antonio Brown, you look at Chase Claypool, you look at I'm forgetting the other receiver, but these trades with the Steelers receivers, they never go poorly, ever.
Ever.
Like
True.
he's coming, he's going for 1,000. He's going,
No, it's the guy, Juju Smith-Schuster.
oh God, I forgot about him. I
Oh
was
man,
talking
one of
about
the worst signings the Patriots have ever done.
who was the guy
He went to
the
the Chiefs.
Panthers signed?
He was
Who
on the
was guy
Patriots as well. We literally
Yes, he was.
let Jacoby Myers go and we got Juju. It was the worst decision of all time.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Who
Just
was
terrible.
who was the one that went to Carolina?
From the Steelers?
From
That's
the
how
Steelers.
bad it was. At one point he
Deontay
went,
Johnson.
Oh my
Deontay
god, I
Johnson.
forgot. He was so bad.
these never go poorly. All these guys were
I think he's on the Browns now.
I don't know where he's at. He needs to put some
I
Super Bowl
think
on his
he,
hands.
he
though.
got signed. He got signed as a free agent to some team. I think it's the Browns.
Huh?
All right, offensive player of the year. We got to get back on track.
Yeah, I know.
Schmeigs.
Schmeigs, you're
Let's
Yeah,
go,
I
baby.
got
Oh,
I
boy.
got a pick for a guy that I think showed that he was really only limited by snap count last year because there's a lot of talent in that room. When his partner went down, his last 4 games, I just went and looked it up, over 550 yards and 8 touchdowns. Last 4 games of the year. I'm going with Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery's getting older. I don't know, how much touches he gets, but I think if Jahmyr Gibbs gets the key to that backfield, he is a clear contender to lead the NFL in total yardage. And he's also he's 23. When I look at all these other guys, all these other phenomenal running backs, there's just a little bit of age concerns. He's the youngest, most proven guy I could find. I gotta go.
I like it.
That is
When you
such
said
a
his
good
partner
pick.
went down, I thought I thought you meant like someone's wife got like gunned down
Yes.
in the street. I was like, what the hell
Same.
happened?
Same.
What I miss here? That's a good choice,
Gotta
though.
go
I
with
like
the
it.
guy who lost his dog at the end of last season.
Jesus.
All right. I don't want to go with an obvious choice like Lamar, Josh Allen. I like
your
Dak
guy.
actually. We talked about Dak. I like that a lot. My first answer that came to mind was Puka Nacua.
Mhm.
I think the Rams are due to be good. I actually think Devontae being there helps him. Takes maybe a little bit of a little bit of coverage off him, a little bit of tension off of him. I think Stafford loves throwing his number one guy. It might be Devontae, but I think it's going to be Puka. He's faster, he's younger. He's got amazing hands. Puka catches everything. So I think it could be Puka. As we've been talking about a little bit, maybe the 49ers quarterback. I think Brock Purdy could actually,
That would be
in first year of
interesting.
his contract, could have a really good season. I think Ricky Pearsall is going to come on. I think Juwan Jennings is going to be good. George Kittle's still there. If CMC is healthy, I think we could see the Niners being a really good team again, at least offensively. So that might be my dark horse pick. Would be Brock Purdy. And it's nothing against you, Schmeigs. I'm sorry. I just feel like the Niners are due.
Comeback player of the year
love
and
it.
offensive player of the year. What's next, dude? What are you gonna do to him next?
Coach of the year.
Dude,
Super Bowl.
it's gonna go funny when they take fourth in the division again.
I will bet you so much money they don't get fourth in division.
I agree.
We might have to
I
we might have to
agree.
take that bet off the air.
Okay. All right. All right, Dom, let's go.
Kyle Pitts.
Shut up. Shut up.
Walk. This is the year. Okay. This
is not
finally
serious.
the year.
Be
Okay.
the year.
So I'm gonna be
He's
boring
big.
here. I said it yesterday in our practice run when we were doing reps with each other out in the field running routes. Speaking of running routes, Justin Jefferson, best wide receiver in the NFL. Like I said off air, okay? There's a 1A and there's a 1B wide receiver in the NFL. Then there's a gap, and then there's whoever you want to put, because there's a ton of really good receivers that you could put from like 3 to 10. But Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
Jesus.
I don't know what just happened to me. I think
And Jesus Christ.
George Pickens just took over my body for a moment. Justin Jefferson, though, is going to be my number one choice. He averages 1,500 yards a season, brother. I mean, he's outrageous. He's one of the best wide receivers I've ever seen in my entire life. And shout out to Odell. You know, no, not really anything to go along with that. I just got to say shout out Odell because he's my GOAT.
Yep.
But Justin Jefferson, got to be my choice. Best wide receiver in the league. I think he's going to put up another like 1,700 yard season. Hard to go against that. And I don't think Saquon's going to repeat as it. It's hard for running back to do that twice in a row. He could, though, with that O-line and that team. So I wouldn't be shocked if it happens, but I'm going JJ. JJ Edis, my king.
Madden Hurst. Defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. Okay, you want me to go?
Who's it going to be? I like the snake. I like the snake that we're doing.
Okay, we can do that. Defensive player of the year. The player on defense who is of the year the most.
Yeah.
I think my choice here is going to be Micah Parsons. He's due.
Ooh.
He's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. He's probably like the most athletic one. He's absolutely disgusting. I wouldn't be shocked if it's like Myles Garrett again or something, though, because he's probably like pound for pound the best defensive player in all of football. But I think I'm going to go Micah Parsons here. If the Cowboys have a bounce back year and their defense is good again, I mean, it all runs through him. So obviously he's going to be going off. And then a dark horse for me, we're going Kyle Hamilton. Best safety in the league. The Ravens, I think they moved him into the box last year. And right after that, their defense changed entirely. They went from one of the, bottom tier defenses, at least, stats wise last year, to one of the top tier ones once they moved him. And I mean, when he's that important, I think it's going to be very easy for him to, be seen by all these media people and everything. And he's going to absolutely destroy. I want to see him do it. I think he can do it. And if not, maybe he'll get a few votes or something. But Micah Parsons, number 1, Kyle Hamilton, number 2. Those are my picks.
Love it.
Back to you.
I'm going to go Christian Gonzalez, the corner for the Patriots. He's young. He's talented. I think he was top 5 rated like professional. It's like PFF rating, whatever it is, professional football. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. He was top 5 ranked. I'm excited. I like him a lot. And I feel like, again, this award either goes to a D end or a corner. Is what it's starting to feel like. So I was thinking TJ Watt is, like you were saying, Myles Garrett. I just feel like those guys have been so good for so long. They're so dominant. Like they're favorites. They both won it before. But I would be excited to see Christian Gonzalez.
I would be stoked to see that. Truth. One thing I will say is I want to see a middle linebacker win it again.
I know.
We haven't seen that since
right?
Luke Kuechly. I mean, Fred Warner could have at some point, but maybe he does this year.
Was thinking, I thought Bobby Wagner won it.
Nope.
When he was with the Seahawks.
Luke Kuechly was the last one in his second season, 2013. Hot take, best middle linebacker of all time. Now, Schmeeks' picks.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think Bobby Wagner. I think it's a take only because Luke Kuechly had a better prime, but Bobby Wagner had a longer prime. So that's the only time you'd be like, ugh.
Sometimes the brightest stars burn the shortest.
We're forgetting about Ray Lewis.
He killed a guy. Doesn't count at all.
Sometimes, the brightest stars snuff other stars out.
Yeah.
No, I got for my series pick. You guys, I had to go take a peek at my dark horse pick over here because I didn't prep one for this. But I got a guy 18.5 sacks in 2023 and 2024. Absolute monster under contract dispute. Trey Hendrickson.
Love it. Love it.
I really I really cannot oversell how valuable I think he is to the Bengals defense. I
Agreed.
think
100%.
if they lose him, they get ran all over. I think they have a really tough year regardless on defense. I think if they lose him in particular, it's just a repeat of last year. And wherever he goes, immediately gets a solid player at the edge that can turn him into a contender. So I would love to see him get the Defensive Player of the Year.
Hell yeah.
For
Love
my
it.
dark horse, I'm gonna just go straight bias. Give me Devin Witherspoon. Um, I think to your point
He
about
is
Kyle
good.
Hamilton, he's a guy that can really play anywhere, do anything. Um, get a few interceptions. Who knows?
He is a monster for sure.
He is very good. That's a good pick.
I love it. Very good one.
Heck yeah.
Very good one.
Let's go.
Offensive rookie. I'm just gonna jump into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it.
This one is so boring, so I'm gonna get past mine, and hopefully you guys have more fun. I like Omarion Hampton, one of the more talented running backs, going to a Jim Harbaugh offense.
Yeah.
I'm not overthinking this at all. They're gonna run the rock. He's gonna get his opportunities. I think I know Ashton Genty has to be up there, and he's currently the betting favorite. He is so good. He has the pass catching ability. When I think of why I want Hampton over him, it's just the touchdown difference. I think Hampton's going to get the goal line work on a better offense, and he's going to get more chances and get a little bit more opportunity to get those touchdowns down. So give me Hampton.
I like it. I
like that pick a lot. And more I think about Genty, I think he is the obvious pick because he was drafted so high. He was a baller at Boise State.
Yep.
I am nervous in the NFL. Running backs get scripted out a lot. And Genty is not a third down back. He's not an Alvin Kamara. Throw it to him. He's not a CMC. Like those guys can run the ball, but like those guys are really good at third down, catching the ball and making plays. Genty is okay, but that's not what he did primarily at Boise State. We were there. We watched him play. I live in Boise. I watched him run 70-yard touchdowns on the blue. He only caught one or two. Like he is a first and second down running back, and he's gonna get his. But I'm a little bit nervous the Raiders going to be playing from behind a lot, that he might get scripted out. I like Tet McMillan. I think the Panthers are going to be better. I think they're going to be playing from behind. I think they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. I think Bryce Young is looking better. Those last 4 or 5 games last year, the Panthers looked good.
He was cooking.
He balled. He was. Like
I love an NFL world where he's doing good because he seems like such a good, sweet dude. I love it.
Agreed. So and he's and I know that Schmeeks has his feelings about Tet and is not as confident in him, which is fine. I think the points that Schmeeks has are good. I'll let you make them, but I think the volume's there. I think he's talented, and I think it could be Tet. But I love Genty. I love Genty so much. He was the heart of Boise State. He was so fun to watch, and he's an amazing person. I would love to see him go crazy for the Raiders. I'm just a little bit nervous. It won't be as good as we want it to be.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna have to Google this. I know last year Genty led the CFB in rushing. Wasn't he one of the leaders in receiving the year before?
He had a decent bit of catches last year.
Sorry. No. So I thought the same thing this year, and not as good in receiving. Only had like 300 receiving yards, which was less than I thought it was, which isn't bad. That's pretty good. I mean, they only played 10 or 11 or 12 games.
I believe he had a decent bit of catches before that, though, like the year before.
No, the year before, yes, because he wasn't the starter. So I think he was their third down back. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's good in the receiving game. Like he can be used there, but like he's going to be like the running back because he's incredible. He's incredible. And speaking of incredible,
he is good at running.
That's why him and Travis Hunter are my 2 picks for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Travis Hunter, I don't even need to say anything. I already spoke about him earlier. He's absolutely incredible. Ashton Genty, also absolutely incredible. There was literally 3 blue chip prospects in this draft, and those are 2 of them. So you can't really go bad picking either of them to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm sure there'll be someone random that pops up that has an incredible year or something and is going to be in the voting, but I don't really see Cam Ward being in it or anything. It is, all awards on offense are kind of geared towards the quarterbacks, but that Titans team is not good. like at all. I don't think they're set up for success like quite yet. So I don't think it's going to be him or anything. And then, I mean, any other quarterback. I mean, Shador Sanders. Like, imagine if he somehow wins it. But yeah, I'm gonna go Travis Hunter, or as my backup option, I'm going Ashton Jeanty. I could see either of them popping off for sure.
If I could throw a question at you, are you even confident Ward's starting over Levis? You know?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
I want to give an honorable mention to Travion Henderson, Emeka Egbuka for the Buccaneers. I think it's how you say his name. And then possibly, I hate this, but possibly the Packers guy. They took like 23rd overall.
Matthew
the Packers
Golden,
receiver.
Dude. I wanted the Pats to get him so badly.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe. I don't have that much faith in that. But anyway, there are some really talented rookies.
Another guy I could see that got drafted in the second round, who I wanted the Pats to get, but we took Travion Henderson instead, and then the Bears traded up the pick right after. And my friend Lucas, who was in the room with me, who was a Bears fan, he was like, "Oh my God, imagine if they take Luther Burden," and then they did. So Luther Burden, you never know. He's phenomenal. He's an incredible wide receiver. I don't know how he fell to the second round, but I could see him getting it as well. I mean, like a super dark horse one, but
I'm hopefully not taking us on too much of a tangent.
No,
Luther Burden's still yet to sign his rookie contract.
Oh, he's a Patriot then.
Only 2 of the second round picks have signed their rookie contracts so far.
I did not know that.
And
the only
ones have signed are the ones that are fully guaranteed, which is it never happened in a rookie second round pick in the history, and now the rest of them are asking for it. So Luther Burden still not signed. No other the Seahawks second round pick still not signed. I'm forgetting our safety's name. Just kind of an interesting plot line.
Nick Emenwari.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. He's a dog.
He's gonna be a monster.
Dang. That might be something we need to talk about again, maybe in the future. Is like,
what
are some interesting things going on with contracts in the NFL?
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and you don't think it's gonna make, because I know Emenwari was at the OTAs in the training camp. He was like, "Hey, this is nothing personal, but I want fully guaranteed too." But Luther Burden, I think, was not. I feel free to check me on that, but it's just an interesting development so far.
Huh, interesting.
Let's go to the other side of the ball. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sir Dominic. Who do you got?
I mean, we'll go with the obvious one, Abdul Carter. He's gonna be phenomenal. And then my other one is gonna be Malachi Starks, also on the Ravens. But another one that I think could happen is the Eagles' first-round pick, Jihad Campbell. I mean, literally, the Ravens and the Eagles are both so good at getting like uber talented players super late in the draft. I don't know how it always happens. Someone always falls to them. Like Kyle Hamilton never should have been a Raven. He should have been picked long before that. And same with Jalen Carter. He never should have fallen to the Eagles. But I think Malachi Starks, good chance. But I'm just gonna say Abdul Carter. Like, that's the most vanilla pick ever. But he's gonna be like the big name player on that defense. I don't see how he doesn't win it at this point. I'm sure he's the betting favorite as well.
Yeah, so, that's a great call. I think the Giants' pass rush is going to be insane. I think it's going to be so. It was actually quietly very good last year too. So I'm excited about Abdul Carter. My pick is going to be Mason Graham, 5th overall to the Browns. I didn't think about, so I picked him. I didn't think about this, but him next to Myles Garrett sounds scary as hell.
It does.
Crazy. 100%. Like there are some really, really good players on both sides of the ball in the AFC North. Like, we have talked about an offensive or defensive player on the Bengals and not the Steelers, only defense, but then Browns defense and then Ravens, both sides of the ball. Like, there are some crazy talented guys in the AFC North.
Yeah, it's a tough division.
Yeah, I think Mason Graham could be great. I think the Browns pride themselves on stopping the run. And I think he was a great pick, so I could see him being really, especially with Myles Garrett. If one of them doesn't get to the quarterback, it's going to be the other one. I think they could be solid. So
yeah,
that's my pick.
Very fair. Schmeigs?
So I really was high on Mason Graham too. I will say, looking at over a little bit, I don't think he had a ton of sacks through his collegiate career, and I think when you're talking D-line, it's a sacks. Or defensive rookie of the year, it's a oh my goodness,
Sacks.
sack statistic. Bleh. Yeah, with Mason Graham, there, I do love him as a talent, but I'm gonna go with Abdul Carter as well.
Yep.
I'm just gonna be boring, and it
Unanimous
was
then.
you already said surprisingly good pass rush for how awful the defensive metrics I saw on the Giants were. Them being ranked ninth in sacks was actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
And looking at it he's Abdul Carter's joining a team with Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns.
Yep. Sexy Dexy.
He's gonna get his. That's not a team where he's gonna, people are gonna be able to focus down on him. They already got two guys there that are pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Add Abdul Carter. I love what the Giants are building. They just gotta stop someone. I don't know where the issue was last year, but they gotta figure it out.
True.
Quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So
Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter's the pick. I don't have
They're
a
not
dark
letting us
horse.
down.
I don't have a dark horse. I like Malachi Starks too. Yeah.
He's gonna be good.
Protector of the year. I looked
Yep.
into this a little bit more, and I think I have a fun pick because I want to say this guy's name because I wasn't really aware of it until I started looking at it. The highest graded pass protector of last year, Tristan Wirfs for the Buccaneers, protecting Baker Mayfield's blind side. Big part of the reason they were able to do what they did. He was a first-team All-Pro, and the fact that he slipped everyone's mind. I mean, I shouldn't slip everyone. Probably 80% of the viewers are like, I know that guy. Well, I didn't, and I want to give him his flowers. Yeah, I want to give him his flowers.
You guys
right
haven't
now.
heard of him?
I mean,
Maybe
I've heard
once
the
or
name.
twice.
I didn't
Damn,
know.
that's
I didn't
crazy.
know he was like the best
Oh
of
no,
pass
dude,
protection.
he's incredible.
Yeah.
That's the thing about offensive linemen right now. There's so many incredible offensive tackles in the league right now. I mean, you got Lane
It's
Johnson, Penei Sewell, Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater, freaking Tristan Wirfs, Trent Williams. I mean, there's so many good ones. It's a stacked position right now for sure.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard to choose which one will actually be getting the award. Honestly, Carter, who are you thinking?
You want to give it to all of them?
Yeah, I agree. I like Lane Johnson for the Eagles. He's been good for a long time, and I want to make a homer pick and pick one of our tackles. I just can't remember his name. He was having a really good season. Hang on, because he was having an amazing season, and then tore his ACL against the Rams. And it was pain. Brian O'Neill. Brian O'Neill I like a lot, and we've had for a while, and he's a
Shaquille's
stud.
brother.
No.
Wow.
Oh, my bad.
But Lane Johnson, I think, is the obvious way. The Eagles have been really good. Their O-line's still going to be really good.
Facts.
And I'm excited. It's we're in a really interesting, exciting time in the NFL where they're just coming out with new awards.
Yep.
Like
I
for
love
the
it.
guys who have just retired, they're just like, why isn't there an offensive lineman award? Let's make it happen. And they did. It's just awesome to see stuff like that. I'm really excited to see who wins the award.
Agreed.
I don't really care. I just think it's cool. I think it's exciting that we're doing the podcast right before the first year of the Protector of the Year award.
I agree.
We're gonna give Big Boys their flowers on this.
Yep. They deserve
As
them.
a former fat guy, they deserve all the awards. Maybe and cookies, maybe as well. I'm not sure.
That was not on my bingo card for what I thought was going to be said during this podcast. Wow.
So my choice. I was talking about it in our practice run. I keep bringing up the practice run because boy, was it a lot of practice.
And you keep saying it was yesterday. It was not yesterday.
Yeah,
it was Sunday. It was not yesterday.
When you have so much fun, times kind of just fly, don't they? My pick though, because I feel like this first year of it, like I was telling you guys the other day, I feel like it's going to be kind of like a career like accumulative award. So I'm going to go with Trent Williams because like at this point, had they introduced this like 10 years ago, he'd have like probably like 6 of these things.
Yes.
So I feel like it more than likely will be one of those types of awards for like the first year. Like I don't think there's a single scenario where like say like some reason all of the best left tackles and right tackles in the league don't do well, and Will Campbell is ranked number 1 or something. I don't think they'd give it to him, like, at all. I really don't. I don't
No.
think it's going to be a young player award. I could see it going to Tristan Wirfs or Penei Sewell or something, but I feel like it's going to be a career type thing for the first one, and it's going to end up going to Trent Williams or Lane Johnson, like one of those two for sure.
Super smart.
But we'll
I love
see.
that pick. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So our NFL honors are complete.
Yep.
I think the last thing we have to do, boys, is talk about our hot takes
Hot
for
takes.
one player for the season. And Dom, you want to start us off? Schmeeks?
No.
I'll start us off. And I
Schmeeks can
hate,
go.
I hate to say this because this is a guy I'm going to target in fantasy, and now I know you're going to target him too. But it needs to come out just for the funs of it on a YouTube channel. Looking at the offensive on the offensive line of the Bears, I was shocked how much money they spent on 3 new offensive linemen.
Yep.
Including all first team All Pro Joe Thune from the Kansas City. All 3 of them interior linemen. All 3 of them. You talk about Ben Johnson coming from a Lions team with Jahmyr Gibbs, who, like I said, was not given the keys to the offense. He was not given the keys to the offense. He was out-touched consistently by David Montgomery. My hot take is I think Rashawn Johnson will lead the Bears in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. I think that Ben Johnson just put a bunch of meat up the middle, and he wants a guy who's going to ram it up there.
Okay.
And I don't know how that sounds, but it's
It
not going to be
sounds
Swift.
so good.
It's not
Oh
gonna
my
be
God.
I'm salivating thinking about it. So
That
I
was
love
that was the craziest thing. Wow. That is a
was an
hot
emotional
take.
roller coaster. I thought
It was more
I thought you were about to say he's going to rush for like 1,500 yards or something.
the
But
No,
presentation.
I like what you said.
I think he's going to lead. I think he's going to lead the Bears in rushing. I
like it.
think Swift is being marketed as their RB1. I think when it comes down to pure touches, he's going to get out touched 2-1. And I think Rashawn Johnson is going to lead the Bears in rushing and rushing touchdowns. And it is a hot take. I'm not even 100% sold on it as I say it, but
I think it's solid, honestly. I like it.
Oh, I need to pick it apart a little bit because I think DeAndre Swift is going to get the screens. I think he's going to be
100%.
the third down guy.
I just think as a hot take, that's a good one. I like it.
It is. Roshan should get the goal line work, and I respect your thoughts there. I agree with you for the most part. I think he could lead in touchdowns. I don't know if he'll lead in rush yards. I think Swift still's got it a little bit. He had a couple really good games last year. I could see Swift and him being close in rush yards, maybe Swift edging him a little bit. Yeah, you like that one?
He's going to be whatting him?
What did Schmeek say? Get all that meat up the middle?
Yeah.
Would you like a rewind?
No.
No, I think we're good.
Yes.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Demonstration, maybe.
Dom, I want you to go next because I think mine's going to be the most controversial. So
yours is going to be the most controversial. Interesting. Okay.
Parker's about to declare martial law.
He might be, honestly. Carter law. There's a lot of hot takes I could go through. I mean, I kind of said one earlier where I said Kyle Hamilton, could win Defensive Player of the Year, but that's not like a huge one or anything. I want to say something that people remember. I want to be the villain of everybody's story. So, my hot take, okay? This is not one I said the other day. Patrick Mahomes never wins another Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. He's dedicated.
Yep. Andy Reid, that fat bastard, is getting up there in age, okay? You can't be walking around with that much girth for forever, buddy. He's eventually going to retire. Travis Kelce, God knows what happened to him in the Super Bowl. He had a better disappearing act than my dad when he left to get groceries when I was 8. And then, I mean, Patrick Mahomes literally tore his own wide receiver's ACL. What was that all about? I just don't think that team is going to do much more winning anymore. And is this because I'm a Josh Allen Glazer? Obviously. But I have to say something that's a hot take. And I think that's the hottest take I could say right now, other than being like Christian McCaffrey never rushes for 1,000 yards again. Those would be my two.
The only thing I'd throw at that is I love everything you said.
Thank you.
That defense, these names on this defense, I love. George Karlaftis, Chris Jones, Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton, Trent McDuffie. They got so much talent along that defense.
They do.
It's hard for me to consider them out of the winning, but in terms of is that offense's dominance ending, I think you're yeah.
Patrick Mahomes
I
has
think
looked
there's-
worse and worse each of the past couple of years since he won
He
that
has.
MVP. I mean, last
He
year
has.
through like 10 weeks, he looked horrendous. It didn't even look like him anymore. And I would say even during the playoffs, it didn't look like him. I mean, he had that god awful interception in the Super Bowl. He had the horrendous pick 6 in the Super Bowl. I mean, he's just not looking like himself anymore. I don't know if he had like an injury that wasn't disclosed last year or something, or if it was just all mental in the Super Bowl or something. But I just don't think that team is geared to do much the next couple of years. Truthfully, I feel like the wheels are falling off.
God, that's a hot take because all they did was go like 14-3, make the Super Bowl, and then get shit on. They won so many games and made the Super Bowl and got shit. They have won. They didn't play good and they won a lot of games they shouldn't have won. I agree with you, but this is such a hot take because they had one game they got shit on out of like 19 or 20 games last season.
Yeah, but
they won the Super Bowl the 2 years before that. Like they almost went and won 3 in a row, which no team in the NFL has ever done. And so I want to agree. I want to agree with you, but I don't feel like I can. I feel like Mahomes is so good, Andy Reid is so good that even if they get another new young running back or another young new tight end, Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to make it work.
Here's the thing, though. So many of their games last year were won by just BS. Like the luckiest thing.
Oh, yeah.
A blocked kick.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one Raiders game, the Raiders almost beat them, and then out of nowhere,
fumble?
the snap. Yeah, like just insane stuff. And then that's not even getting into like the playoff games where like Josh Allen looked like he had the first down, and for some reason it wasn't called the first down. That probably would have iced the game if they score on that drive. Like just so many little things added up to them to get there. And that's why they look so bad in the Super Bowl is because they really didn't deserve to be there. Like they played a super good opponent and they got absolutely smacked because they were just top to bottom, just completely outclassed.
Yeah, and it's worth noting too about this team that Gardner Minshew is the QB2.
Exactly. So they're not going to win anything.
There's nothing else there. I just think that's a fun.
That's the
I
hat
love
right there.
WSU go Gardner Minshew, dude. I love that. I love that mustache. That's great. Okay, well, if I can,
Go ahead. By all
I
means.
can paint you a picture.
This
There
is
are a
football.
lot of very good second-year quarterbacks we're going to get to see this year. To name a few: Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Drake May,
MVP.
Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. Correct? Is Anthony Richardson his second or third year? Is this his third
It's
year?
actually his 16th.
Yeah, this is his 16th, I believe. I
No,
think he was
I think-
drafted right after Aaron Rodgers, if I remember correctly. No, he was drafted in 2023, I believe, or 2022.
Yeah, he's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's 3. I think he's going into his 4th year.
He's going to his
Right
third.
now.
I couldn't remember. Okay.
Or it might
Out
be
of-
his 3rd.
Out of all the second-year quarterbacks, the best one will be J.J. McCarthy. And here's why. He was going to, out of all of these second-year quarterbacks, he's going to have the most pass yards and the most pass touchdowns. He is going to have at least 3,750 pass yards and 29 passing touchdowns. And I'm saying passing because I think he might run the ball a little bit, but probably not a lot. I think he's going to
He
be
is athletic.
besides Jaden Daniels. I have to throw that in there. Jaden Daniels is going to ball. I think besides
Maybe.
Jaden Daniels, he has more pass yards and more pass touchdowns than Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. I think he has 3,750 in pass yards, 29 pass touchdowns. Kevin O'Connell was coach of the year last year. We also went out and signed 2 or 3 free agent O-linemen. We have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison,
Sucks.
TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Mason, and Aaron Jones. I think our weapons are great. I think our coaching is great. I think J.J. McCarthy knows how to win. I think he got a year Like a lot of good quarterbacks,
Mm-hmm.
he got a year to watch and learn and not have to play. And I think he is getting nothing but a ton of credit and hype from both sides of the ball. I know you guys don't watch the Vikings a lot, but every single interview I see of players and coaches, offense and defense, love him and rave about him. I think he's going to ball. I think he's going to be so good. I haven't bought a jersey yet. I'm going to buy a jersey soon. I am so in. I am so confident, and he's probably going to be mid, and it's going to make me so depressed because I had no expectations last year for Sam Darnold, and we went 13-4 or 14-3, and he was amazing. And this year, my expectations are really high, and I feel like we're going to be mid. I'm going to be super sad, but I'm keeping my confidence high for JJ McCarthy, baby. I like those other second-year quarterbacks too.
What's
Drake,
a stat line?
Drake May's thrown for 55 touchdowns this year in the first half alone, so I don't believe in any of that. But
what's so for guys who have rookie quarterbacks, what's a stat line for your quarterback, touchdowns to interceptions, and rough yardage total that you're happy with? You end the year and you're like, this is the guy I'm all in on.
if I'm already all in on Drake May, I have been since
I
the
love
first
it.
time I saw him at North Carolina. Dude, I fully believe that he was a steal in that draft at number 3 overall, and I will always believe that. I'm gonna say like 28 touchdowns or something, and maybe like 4,000 yards or something would make me really, really happy. It doesn't have to be like passing, like total. He's really fast.
I was going to say
he's a
total.
really, really good running quarterback. Like actually, like elite. He was like leading the league in rushing yards per carry last year at some point. It was outrageous how good he was. But I think with the upgraded offensive line, weapons, all that stuff, I think he's going to be a lot better. So I think a solid 28 touchdowns and like 4,000 total yards. But I mean, I would love to see like a Josh Allen jump. You know, him and Josh Allen are compared to each other a lot. So like if he has a Josh Allen type jump, then you know, I'd be happy with that.
Do you want to hear Fantasy Pros predictions for JJ McCarthy?
I
Sure.
want to hear your stat line to the question I asked.
Yep.
I think that we throw the ball a lot and we throw the ball well. I think that over 17 games, 29 touchdowns is not that hard. And over 17 games, that's 220 pass yards a game, which is a little high, but I think that's doable. The line I set, 29
about
touchdowns, 37.
3,500.
I think if he has 3,500 pass yards and 28 touchdowns, I'm very happy.
So
For
we're
a guy
pretty
who
close on the
hasn't,
same thing, yeah.
I mean, Drake May's had a year under his belt. Like JJ McCarthy hasn't played an actual snap in the NFL. Like who really knows how this could go? He could get out there and be super skittish. He could get out there and make some terrible decisions. Like he's probably going to make some mistakes. But Sam Darnold also had some bad games. He threw like 4 interceptions against the Jags.
Those last
Like,
2 games of the season were so infuriating.
oh, it was
As a
so
Justin
painful.
Jefferson fan, that was one of the most
Ugh.
painful things I've ever
I
watched.
don't want to relive it. Here are his
So-
projections: 3,800 pass yards. That is over what I am guessing,
Yeah.
and 26.6 touchdowns, which is only 2.5 less than what I'm guessing. So Fantasy Pros has him projected for just about what I'm thinking.
I like
Yeah.
it.
15
I like it.
pass interceptions though, which is crazy. 15 interceptions is a lot.
Yeah, I think he'll throw more like 20 to 25, but
Yeah. And that's before the bye week.
yeah, that's
So-
before inflation. After
Yeah.
inflation,
100.
like 30.
It is crazy though, the difference between our teams like situations. Like I love my quarterback, but like I would love to have the weapons that JJ McCarthy's about to. Literally your wide receiver 2 would be my wide receiver 1. It's outrageous.
I'm excited for our
Absolutely.
rookie too.
You would love
Our
to have
rookie's
Big
good.
Bobo
I would love
working
that.
for
Yeah, no, I was talking to Schmeigs. I want 45-year-old mummified Cooper Cup so
want the
badly.
Cup.
JSN's amazing.
the
So
Nick.
He is.
I would take that receiving core 10,000 out of 10 actually.
You know what's well I'm excited for it. I think
Mhm.
the nice thing about it, this is like gonna sound like horrible critique. This is gonna sound like cope is what it's gonna sound like. The nice thing about Cup and Bobo, especially, and a little bit of Jackson Smith and Jigba, but not as much, is they can all block very well. So I think this offense they're gonna need to run the ball and I'm hoping that they can help out with that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Kenneth Walker's good, so.
He is.
Yeah, Walker. I'm
Charbonnet.
keeping my fingers crossed.
I
Walker
like
or Charbonnet.
Charbonnet.
He just needs
I'm
to
a
stay
big
healthy.
fan
Yeah.
of every running back on this roster right now.
Hell yeah.
We all got to talk about our teams. I think
Yep.
that's a good end. I
Yep.
am very happy, boys. This was fun. I think we did great.
True.
Not like,
I know.
you know.
I think you could have been better. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, me and Schmeeks did really good. But
Yeah, you guys were
other-
amazing. God,
everybody
I'm so
else,
sorry.
though, needs to improve a little bit.
I'll point fingers.
This has been the Chain Crew. We are so excited. I wanna talk more and more and more. I want to talk all night long, but
Same.
we got more episodes, more plans for more
100%.
fun stuff. And if you're listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, we're excited to have you. If you have any hot questions or topics that you think would be fun for us to discuss or talk about, we're happy to hear them out as we grow and get going. But I love you guys. That was so fun.
I love you guys, too.
Great
That was
first
a blast. That was a great first episode.
Good time.
The sequel's going
right.
to be better.
Let's go.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching.
All right.
We appreciate it. And have a great night.